It's hate week. It's Iron Bowl week here on the Alabama Football Report. So our first question for you guys, how much do you hate the Auburn Tigers? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 the low end, 10 the high end. I think we'll see quite a few 10s in the comment section. Before we get going into some more discussion around what happened last week in the Iron Bowl as well, some injury updates for the Crimson Tide. Kobe Prentice battling a hamstring injury. Head coach Nick Saban said he strained it in practice earlier this week. Saban said he could have played in the game, but they weren't going to, risk it because it's Chattanooga. So hopefully he's able to go against Auburn. If not, it'll be okay. They have receivers out there. Jalen Key, still working his way back from his quad injury. Deontae Lawson with the ankle. I'm going to guess those two guys play against Auburn. Would be, again, Chattanooga, you play it extra safe. You don't need those guys out there. Ja'Cory Brooks' shoulder, I think, kind of in a similar boat, should be fine. They have options there. Earl Little, the second, though, had his arm in a sling. That's the injury that we know of, so I wouldn't read too much, that's not a good sign, clearly. I doubt he goes. Jalen Key also warned up against Chattanooga. I meant to mention that. Should be fine, would be my guess. Quandarius Robinson battling a stinger, which those can linger, but can also be played through, so put him maybe more in the questionable category coming up this week against Auburn. It is officially that time of the year, folks, where Nick Saban gets to remind Auburn why they are the little brother, even though I think Auburn will come out and play a lot better than they did when they lost to New Mexico State. It's pretty funny. Look, this is Alabama's rivalry. There's no doubt about it. They have dominated against Auburn in almost all the cases. They lead the all-time margin, at least recent memory, I should say, 49-37-1, which I hate ties. Largest victory was, of course, a 55-0 Bama win. Alabama, 9 is the largest win streak there. And then the current win streak right now is 3 for the Crimson Tide. Now, strangely enough, and this is what's very interesting, Saban is 0-6 against 9-win Auburn teams, which is kind of like a weird, that's interesting. So good news. Auburn's bad. I think they very clearly got caught looking ahead against New Mexico State. They got caught with their pants down. They're 6-5 this year, so they'll be a bowl team. I thought they were going to be 7-5 coming in. They blew it against New Mexico State. By the way, quick note. Two teams have had 21, the last two teams to have 21-point losses or more when they're 21 or more point favorites. Hugh Freeze against New Mexico State at Auburn, and Hugh Freeze against New Mexico State at Liberty last season. Kind of hilarious there. But Auburn is dangerous at home. This is a rivalry football game. This is going to be a fantastic environment, and this is the type of game that this is Auburn's championship. They have nothing else to look forward to. They got the bowl game, cool. Ending Alabama's season would mean everything for the Tigers. So, yeah, they're going to come out and play a hard-fought game. They are not going to roll over, and I would not be surprised if they covered the spread, because that's how rivalry games tend to go. So what do you think ends up happening? Will Alabama cover what is currently the 15-point spread in their favor? A for yes, B for no. Sound off in the comment section right now. Let's recap the last 10 games that were played at Auburn. 2021 was the wild multi-overtime game. Who can forget that one? The loss 48-45 in 2019 and a 26-14 loss in 2017. Auburn has had success at home. Win in 2015, then a loss in 2013. Couple wins, 2011, 2009. Auburn did have a 3-game winning streak at home from 2007 to 2003, but it's the recent games that I think give us more indication there. I do think this is going to be a game that Auburn comes to play. Look, not that many, blowout games in these last 10. There are a couple mixed in there, but this is not a good Auburn team. It's not, but they're going to compete. That this is a rivalry game. It will be, I think, a cover the spread, maybe, 11-point, 12-point, 13-point win for Alabama. Now, today's show is made possible by Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. It's just you against the numbers. You're not battling thousands of players, the pros, the sharks, etc. You just pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and hopefully watch your winnings come in. You can mix and match NFL, NBA, NFL, college football, NBA, etc. I do regret to inform that my 5-week streak on Prize Picks is over. CJ Stroud easily got the passing yards, and Sam Howell was going to, and then he threw a late game pick six that iced it. He was 5 yards away from getting there. I always do the flex play because C. Lamb did not get close at all because the Cowboys didn't feature him that much, and the game was a blowout in the fourth quarter again. Came just short, but I'm still very much ahead on Prize Picks because I went to prizepicks.com/CLNS and used code CLNS. That got me a first deposit match up to $100. Still playing with that deposit match. Link will be in the comments and the description of today's show. Again, that's prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Some brief thoughts here on, I guess we're going to call it a football game between Alabama and Chattanooga. That was a come on and get your butts kicked type of football game, 66-10. What I do find noteworthy is that Alabama played 20 true freshmen in their Week 12 win over Chattanooga, which technically was senior day. It was also kind of funny, but this was clearly a game. Remember, you have the rules have changed. You get 4 games for all your freshmen. They can still have the redshirt year. This was clearly a game marked for Saban of everyone's going to play. That's what this was. Freshmen who played, right? Obviously, your top guys. Caleb Downs, Caden Proctor, Jalen Hale, James Smith, Justice Haynes played. Richard Young got some playing time. Brayson Hubbard on special teams. Dylan Lonergan got some playing time, by the way, which I was actually kind of impressed with the way he played. Again, it's Chattanooga. Everyone on this team should cook them. That's how it goes. But I was surprised, happily, to see him get some run there. Good, valuable reps for him. Cole Adams, Jordan Renaud played. Edric Hill, Des Ricks played, who we haven't mentioned him at all yet this year, but that's a noteworthy last name you guys all know. Tony Mitchell got some playing time after all of his drama this past offseason. Backup offensive lineman Miles McVay, Olinian, Wilkin Formby, Rock Montgomery, and then Ty Lockwood, Jaron Hamilton, even Connor Talty, the kicker, got to play a little bit. So what freshman, not named Caleb Downs, are you most excited about? This was going to be Justice Haynes before the year began. Now, maybe it's just Caden Proctor. Drop a name for me in the comments section. Now, there were 6 players who did not play in that game and have yet to play this year, whether due to injury or just needing more time. Some of the guys were later enrollees. So, Keon Keeley, Yanze Pierre, Quay Russell, some of your backup linebackers, edges, Jaleel Hurley. Eli Holstein did not play. They also already probably play one freshman quarterback in a game. Hunter Osborne also did not go. Now, if you guys love Alabama football, you've come to the right spot. Hit that sub button right now, youtube.com/@RollTideTV for more free Alabama football videos all season and off-season long. Now, CBS Sports has put out some bowl predictions. They've got Alabama in the Cotton Bowl against Washington, which would certainly be an entertaining football game. What the downside here is, with the playoff picture up in the air, this projection would mean both those teams miss the college football playoff. There is a path, by the way, that Washington-Bama is actually a college football playoff matchup. Bama beats Georgia. Let's just say Texas loses to get them out of the conversation here. Michigan's the top seed, and let's say Florida State drops a game, and there's some uncertainty as to who's the extra seed in there, and Bama's the 3, and Washington's the 2. Not the most outlandish scenario. I would not mind playing the Huskies, though. I think that's a decent matchup for the Crimson Tide. They absolutely have an explosive offense. And I think, assuming they got, if it's, CFP, they different play, bowl game, maybe some guys sit out. I think you need to watch, Kool-Aid McKinstry and Terrion Arnold against Roma Dunzier, Jalen Polk, etc. That dynamic Washington receiving core. Dallas Turner gets some good reps against some awesome offensive linemen. Troy Fontenot included there for the Huskies. That's an awesome matchup. Their defense also isn't very good either. This could be just an explosive play, 35-33 type of game where it's just big plays with a big play there. And to a certain extent, maybe it would be 2016 all over again. You guys remember that? The Peach Bowl, technically speaking, a few years ago. where Alabama took care of business against Washington fairly handily. Alabama's on a bit of a heater when it comes to their bowl games / college football playoff matchups. Last 10 bowl games against Kansas State, 45-20. 2021, Cotton Bowl, they took down that one. Notre Dame, the Rose Bowl, they won. Michigan, at least the first bowl game, I should say, of each season. Michigan, Oklahoma, Clemson, Washington, and Michigan State. That's 8 consecutive opening bowl game wins they've had there. Very impressive stuff, even with the unfortunate loss to Ohio State and Oklahoma in 2013, excuse me. So would you like to play Washington in the Cotton Bowl? Why for yes and for no? I'm going to vote no. I would rather be in the college football playoff, but sound off in the comments.